News surrounding the fires in Los Angeles, they've dominated our news cycle each and every night. From the actual fires, the response, the people, the businesses, and as we get further down the track, if it hasn't already started, the blame game. Hello, I'm Mike Bain from Christian Voice New Zealand, and can I say, look, my heart goes out to all those people who have been affected by this terrible situation, not just in LA, but in other parts around the world, particularly here in New Zealand, because we have our own fires too. But newspapers around the world, they've carried the headline, "It's just like Armageddon." And while it may be a picture conjured up as flames engulfs forests and destroys homes and lives, the question is it just like Armageddon? To the people affected, well, it could well be, but this is Los Angeles, home to Hollywood, where everything's big, bold and beautiful. It's also home to the stars, and it's home to just normal people like you and I. But is the devastation being caused Armageddon? How different, though, is the loss of property and lives of the people of Los Angeles to that of those people whose homes are ravaged by hurricanes in the southern states, or those in America's Midwest when towns and cities are flattened by tornadoes? Yep, all of these things are a loss, but the one key positive which comes out of all of this devastation is that the loss of life becomes minimal. Yeah, I get it. If one person dies, it's too many. But I hope you can understand that while millions of dollars worth of property gets destroyed, there's also a small cost to life. But one gets the feeling it should be a lot higher, but it's not. Now, the reason it's not is due to the importance that we are placing on human life. It's true when disaster strikes. What is it that's the most important? It's lives. It's not property. Property can be replaced. Your husband, wife, children, well, they can't be replaced. And listening to the news clips from the people of LA, they were extremely thankful they were spared. Some were even philosophical and saying, oh, look, we can build our home here again. One woman said that she was grateful because when she hurriedly evacuated, she grabbed a box of family photographs. I thought, now, if there was just one thing, one possession, one treasure you could save, a box of photographs would be it. After all, they are your memories. Armageddon? It was an interesting headline in that the fires in LA were the media's perception of what Armageddon would look like. I was even surprised that someone in the media knew what Armageddon was, and they could describe an actual event which was being portrayed to happen in the Bible. But let's be fair and see what the meaning is, particularly when we talk about Armageddon. Now, there are two distinct descriptions that are accepted. The primary being from the Bible book of Revelation that it will be the last battle between good and evil before the day of judgment. The secondary one is seen as a dramatic and catastrophic conflict, typically seen as likely to destroy the world or the human race. Well, given the descriptions, the fires in Los Angeles don't even equate with the biblical definition of Armageddon. The fires, while catastrophic, remind us, though, of the importance of life over material possessions, value we place on human life, the need to heed authorities' instructions, and the gratitude for survival. They are vital lessons to remember. These moments of crisis can serve as a wake-up call to reflect on our values and our actions. It's about how we live today with compassion, with kindness and integrity that shapes our destiny. But what is it that we can learn from these catastrophic events? Well, let's just start with the obvious. It wasn't Armageddon. Nothing like it. For those, as we said on the ground, well, it may feel like it. Two, if you were to believe it was like Armageddon, then you'd have to factor that there was a hand of God in this. There wasn't. God did not single out, nor was he exacting punishment on the city of Los Angeles. And the other thing is, God doesn't have a set of matches to light the fire. Most important, we must obey the instructions of those authorities who are in charge to flee and not look back. And finally, we need to accept that human life, not possessions, are the most valuable thing on this planet. Now, if you're awake, you can see where I'm going with this, yeah? Well, Armageddon, when it happens, well, it will certainly mean death to many inhabitants in this world, and it'll be one that is fought between two spiritual powers. And if you're watching and think you can survive it, well, can I suggest you need to think carefully about how you live your life today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life. Armageddon is not punishment from God, but God's judgment. If you want an indicator of God's punishment, I'd suggest that you read the account of what transpired at Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, you can find that in the book of Genesis. And further down in the Bible, we have the book of Revelation, where we're warned of the upcoming war of Armageddon. And in that, we're advised what action we should take. Now, I know when I quote Revelation 18, where it speaks to us and says, come out of her, my people, so that you will not share in her sins, so that you will not receive any of her plagues. For her sins are piled up to heaven, and God has remembered her crimes. Now, if you're not familiar with the Word of God, you're going to ask to come out of where? In the preceding verses, it speaks of the city of the harlot, the great prostitute, Babylon the Great. Look, to be honest, I haven't got time here to go dig deep into it, but in simple terms, in order to survive the wrath of God, then you must, and I say must, understand. So get some assistance from that church-going neighbour of yours, or even from your local church. When fleeing for your life, the residents of Los Angeles, like the residents of Los Angeles, it's important that we get the most valuable thing known to mankind, and that is to understand that the most thing that is important to God himself, and that is you. Reflect on your spiritual readiness and get to know the God of the Bible before the day of judgment arrives. The return of Jesus Christ is near, and with it, the day of judgment. Your decisions today matter for eternity. Well, what are your thoughts on it? Thanks for watching. We do appreciate your comments. Help us to spread the word of God by sharing this video and by subscribing to our channel. Until next time, God bless.